Online pub quiz number 21. Yada yada yada, introduction, other words of wise wisdom, welcome. Well, hello. Welcome back to another Friday night contained within the four walls of your apartment, house, or cardboard box, wherever you may be. Welcome back to the online Two Fellas Pub Quiz with myself. And this week, we have squirreling away in the background the resident fella of Rob. That's because our dear Michael is now away on maternity leave. Paternity leave. He wasn't the one who had the baby. Oh no, he didn't push that out. Yes, welcome everybody. Welcome to all returning teams. Welcome to any new teams. This week's quiz, as per usual, will follow the familiar format. If you check in the description below, you will find the links to the answer papers as we go around. As ever, remember to keep your answers, your team names exactly the same as they are throughout the quiz. I suggest, as always, typing your team name into the first one and then copying and pasting into some notes so you can copy and paste that back later. That will help Rob doing the marking. House cleaning. The Two Feathers this weekend is on staycation, except tomorrow, where the pub will be open for bottles. So you can get your fix of tasty Two Feathers beer between 5 and 9 tomorrow. Otherwise, we are closed this weekend for pizzas and beer. Bar tomorrow for beer between 5 and 9. Get that first answer paper open and enter your team name at the top. And then we'll get on with the quiz. The first round is, as always, our easier round, as it has been for the last 21 quizzes. Then we have our theme round, which is ironically this week communication, not cooperation, as May has gone out on the Two Fellas Instagram. After that, we have our music round, where I treat you with the best covers of music that I can find on YouTube in the hour and a half I am willing to dedicate to the music round every week. Following on from that, we have the harder round, which, as the name suggests, is harder than the other rounds, depending on how well I've written it. So we'll see. I'll give just another 2 minutes for everybody to get in, and then we'll get going with the quiz. Just going to check on the chat. Got my theme music in my head. This week I have the dog next to me as well. See how long she... Oh, on a big yawn, and she'll be asleep before we know it. Happy birthday! Happy birthday, Martin! Congratulations on hitting the age that you are and progressing that extra year in life. We made it! It would be great if we could get a return on last year, wouldn't it? Yeah. So let's see who Martin celebrates his birthday with. February the 26th. Oh, Victor Hugo. There we go, that's a good one. Victor Hugo, Ferdinand I of Bulgaria, Buffalo Bill. Was he the one of the Wild Frontier? Oh, Johnny Cash as well. It would be his birthday today if he was still alive. We'll see how much of a good mood I'm in. All right. Oh, and a happy birthday for earlier in the week to Peter as well. So, let's get on with the easier round. Round one, question one. Which TV sitcom that concluded in 2004 has been teased with a return by its main star this past week? So, which TV sitcom that concluded in 2004 has been teased with a return by its main star this past week? Have me a crunchy. See how long I can make that last. Hey, doggo. So, question one. Which TV sitcom that concluded in 2004 has been teased with a return by its main star this past week? That's your question one. Let's get on to question two. Identify this city. I'll make this bigger for you. I wish there's probably a button to do this, but I don't know where it is. Which city is this? Yes. So identify that city. Oh, any more crunchy? My crunchy. Give it. Don't take my crunchy away. Oh no, make the crunchy for. So question two, identify this city. Have a good debate amongst yourselves. Remember, you can always use the little red slider at the bottom of your screen to scroll back later on if you want to have another look at this. But just don't forget, once you have done a look, make sure you scroll all the way back to the right, otherwise you'll be behind. All right, let's get on with question three. Question three. Which author, 1899 to 1974, wrote Emil und die Detektive, Fabian, die Geschichte eines Moralisten, and would have also celebrated his birthday this past Tuesday? So, who wrote Emil und die Detektive, or Emil and the Detectives, and Fabian, the story of a moralist, and would have also celebrated their birthday this past Tuesday? If you haven't read Fabian, the story of a moralist, I highly recommend it. Okay, let's move on. Question four. Question 4. Starring Emilio Estevez, which ice hockey drama will return as a series on Disney Plus this coming March? So, starring Emilio Estevez, which ice hockey drama will return as a series on Disney Plus this coming March? So, question 4, starring Emilio Estevez, which ice hockey drama will return as a series on Disney Plus this coming March? Let's move on. Question 5. All Things Must Pass and Living in the Material are albums by which artist? So, All Things Must Pass and Living in the Material World are albums by which artist? So, All Things Must Pass and Living in the Material World are albums by which artist? Now, don't forget, when we get to the end of the round, I will give you a time frame in which you need to submit your answers to, and you need to stick to that. This is so we can move swiftly on with the pub quiz throughout the evening. So question 5, one more time, is All Things Must Pass and Living in the Material World are albums by which artist? Let's move on. 6. In this propaganda poster, who is caricatured as the red satanic figure? So, in this propaganda poster, who is caricatured as the red satanic figure? Let's move on. Question 7. Which French music duo announced that they were splitting up recently? So, which French music duo announced that they are splitting up recently? That's your question 7. Question 7, one more time, is which French music duo announced that they were splitting up recently? Question 7. 8. Who won the women's singles title at the Australian Open? So who won the words? Put them in your own order. Who won the women's single title at the Australian Open? So question 8 is, who won the women's singles title at the Australian Open? On with question 9. Name the ancient capital of Egypt that shares its name with a city in Tennessee. So name the ancient capital of Egypt that shares its name with a city in Tennessee. And finally, let's go on to the final question of the easier round. Which is the largest of the Italian lakes? So which is the largest of the Italian lakes? Those are your 10 questions for round 1. Have your answers submitted by 2028, not the year. I'll put that in the chat. So question 10, one more time, is which is the largest of the Italian lakes? Have your answers in by 28 minutes past the hour, and we'll get on with marking before moving on with our theme round, which is on communication, loosely-ish, somewhat. Now, whilst we take these next 4 minutes to get your answers in, let's remind ourselves what happened last week in the scores. 2 weeks ago, the quiz was won by Don't Fucking Clap. But last week, the House Martins returned to nestle upon their top perch. But Ersatzschiedsrichter Mannschaftsauswahl climbed the tables last week to take second. And regular teams, such as the Cabage, dropped to third, and Don't Fucking Clap made it to fourth. So let's see what will happen this week with the scores. I've kept all the scores throughout the year, and I'm thinking of putting a table together of everybody's scores who plays every week, and seeing what the cumulative scores across the year so far are, if I can be bothered. So you've got just about 2 minutes to get your answers in. Okay, less than a minute to get your answers in. The ticking of the clock runs. Okay. So, submit your answers now or don't get your answers submitted. Right. Answers. Round one answers are as follows. The TV sitcom that is returning, as teased by its main star, probably because he needs some more money after a major divorce, is Frasier. Identify this city. It's Lisbon. The author of Emilien the Detektive and Fabian die Geschichte eines Moralisten is Eric Kästner. Read both of those books. 4, starring Emilio Estevez, the ice hockey drama that's returning as a series on Disney Plus is The Mighty Ducks. I think it was once an animation. All Things Must Pass and Living in the Material World, albums by which artist is George Harrison. The person depicted in that poster is Leon Trotsky. Beneath him is Chinese communists who are shoveling bones beneath a bridge to hide them. And he's the master. That's from the Russian Civil War. Which French music duo announced that they were splitting up is Daft Punk. Naomi Osaka won the women's singles title at the Australian Open, got into tennis because of the Williams sisters watching them on TV, and now she's playing against them. That means the Williams sisters have been around for a very long time. 9. The ancient capital of Egypt that shares its name with a city in Tennessee is Memphis. And finally, it's where all of the Italian police go on holiday. It's Lake Garda. Sorry, the Irish police go on holiday. I missed the joke. Right. On to round 2. Round 2 is communication, ironically. Based on the information I went out on Instagram as being cooperation, but we won't talk about that. Right, round 2. What does SMS stand for? In communication terms, what does SMS stand for? Nice, Dylan. Nice. Da, 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 da. Question 1 is, what does SMS stand for? 2. Which company was first to produce a handheld mobile phone? And the first call with such took place on the 3rd of April, 1973. So which company was first to produce a handheld mobile phone? Handy. And the first call on such took place on the 3rd of April, 1973. The form is in the description below. If you click the description, you will find the answer page Paper's all there. What are your guesses, Anna? What do you have? And be kind. Your at-home quiz. And what are your other questions? So question 2 was, which company was first to produce a handheld mobile phone, the first call of which took place on the 3rd of April 1973. Since then, they've been passed around through many companies. Not quite sure who owns them now. Question 3, with 17.74% of the market, which is the most popular email domain in the world? So with 17.74% of the market, which is the most popular email domain in the world? And it's not Facebook's email domain. That had something like 0.01% of the share. That brief time they decided to do that. Harnessing more people's information. Question 3, with 17.74% of the market, which is the most popular email domain in the world? Let's move on. Question 4. In 2017, which cartoon character did China censor due to its use as a subversive representation of the Chinese president? Implied question mark at the end. In 2017, which cartoon character did China censor due to its use as a subversive representation of the Chinese president? So in 2017, which cartoon character did China censor due to its use as a subversive representation of the Chinese president? Question 4. On now, question 5. This is me trying to do something with science. Let's see how well this goes. That equation, where h is height, d maximum signaling distance, and c some constant, is a law known after which famous Italian inventor? So this equation, where h is height, d is maximum signaling distance, and c is some constant, is a law known after which famous Italian inventor? So this equation, where h is height, d is maximum signaling distance, and c some constant, is a law known after which famous Italian inventor? Right, 6. Which European country was the first to implement the first successful optical telegraph network in 1793, implemented to speed communications at a time when it was surrounded by enemies? There's a few things that you can use in there to work out the answer. What was question 4? Question 4. Question 4 was in 2017. Which cartoon character did China ban because of its use as a subversive representation of the Chinese president? So 6 is, which European country was the first to implement the first successful optical telegraph network in 1793, implemented to speed communications at a time when it was surrounded by enemies? It built round towers and put a big wooden mast in it, and then it had arms that came down and did different signals that could then be interpreted far away. And it was the first successful optical telegraph network, and was implemented rapidly across the country. I think Sweden was the last country to use an optical telegraph network, and I think it ended in 1885. So, which European country was the first to implement the first successful optical telegraph network in 1793, implemented to speed communications at a time when it was surrounded by enemies? When the country was surrounded by enemies. Question 7. How much in total, combined cash and shares, did Facebook pay for WhatsApp in 2014? Was it A, 1.2 billion, B, 4 billion, C, 16 billion, or D, 26 billion US dollars. So how much did Facebook pay for WhatsApp in 2014? Is it A, 1.2 billion, B, 4 billion, C, 16 billion, or D, 26 billion US dollars? How valuable is your information to Facebook? That's really the question. More times, how much in total did Facebook pay for WhatsApp in 2014? Was it A, 1.2 billion, B, 4 billion, C, 16 billion, or D, 26 billion US dollars? That's your question 7. On to 8. What was IEEE 802.11b direct sequence rebranded as in 1999? So what was IEEE 802.11b direct sequence rebranded as in 1999? Question 8, one more time, is what was IEEE 802.11b direct sequence rebranded as in 1999? On to question 9. 9. The first transatlantic cable connected the Bay of Bulls in Newfoundland with which modern country? So the first transatlantic cable connected the Bay of Bulls in Newfoundland with which modern country? Question 9. The first transatlantic cable connected the Bay of Bulls in Newfoundland with which modern country? And on to our final question of the theme round, which is Starlink is the satellite internet constellation program aiming to provide low-cost internet of which company? So which company does Starlink belong to? So Starlink is the satellite internet constellation program of which company? Those are your 10 questions for round 2, and you have 6 minutes to get your answers in, and I'll put that in the chat. So Starlink is a satellite internet constellation program aiming to provide low-cost internet of which company? Whom does Starlink belong to? All right, so have your answers in by 2056 or 4 minutes to the hour. And then we'll move on with the music round. Don't forget, if you need any questions repeating, you can either ask in the chat or scroll that little red bar at the bottom of your screen backwards and have a look at them. All right, less than 2 minutes to get your answers in. All right, less than a minute to get your answers in. All right. If you haven't clicked submit, click very quickly now. All right, let's move on with the answers. The answers for the round 2 are as follows. SMS stands for Short Messaging Service. The first company to produce a handheld mobile phone, on which the first call took place on the 3rd of April 1973, was Motorola. At 17.74% of the market, which is the most popular email domain in the world, it's at gmail.com. In 2017, which cartoon character did China censor due to its use as a subversive representation of the Chinese president? It was Winnie the Pooh. This equation, where h is height, d is maximum signaling distance, and c some constant, is a law known after Marconi. It's Marconi's law. The European country that was first to implement the first successful optical telegraph network in 1793 was France. At the time, it was in the midst of the French Revolution and were the enemy of pretty much everybody. I wonder why. Then 7, the total cost in cash and shares that Facebook paid for WhatsApp was 16 billion US dollars. And that is how much your conversations are worth to Facebook. IEEE 802.11b direct sequence was rebranded in 1999 as Wi-Fi. That's it. Wi-Fi only means Wi-Fi. But that's what IEEE 802.11b direct sequencing was rebranded as in 1999. Wi-Fi. The first transatlantic cable connected the Bay of Bulls in Newfoundland with which modern country? It's with Ireland, specifically the Republic of Ireland. At the time, though, in the early 19th century, it was colonized by those bloody Brits. And 10, Starlink is the satellite internet constellation program of SpaceX. Okay, let's move on with the Gabe the Dog music round. So on the music round, make sure you have the answer paper opened up. There isn't a theme that connects everything this week, purely because that takes far too much time to think of and then sort through. So you have a selection of 10 songs from varying genres of music, which I'm sure some of you are bound to complain about. So open up the answer paper and get ready. You will hear all 10 songs one time round, and then you will hear them all again. So if you missed them, you can hear them again. So don't worry by falling behind or anything. So without further ado, I'm going to take a break and leave you to enjoy the wonderful music.
I never ask, where do you go? I never ask, what do you do? I never ask, what's in your mind? I never ask, if you'll be mine. Come and smile, don't be shy. Touch my bum, this is life. This is life. We are.
The world was on fire, no one could save me but you. Strange what desire will make foolish people do. I never dreamed that I knew somebody like you.
So you're looking for the original artist and the song name.
That you get on international, first class seat on my lap, girl, riding comfortable. Cause I know what the girl in me, New York to Haiti. I got lipstick stamps on my passport.
Now I'ma say this one time, boy, and that's my word. We rockin' shots and not fire through the hymns in bed. The contribution is clear, you add a water to bone and get the Jurassic 5 on the microphone. Now if you like the tone, the harmony's done. All the sucker MCs die before they begun. Well, I'd like to know if you got the notions, we're number one. Just trying to say my style is better than yours. I'm on some other shit. I'm all about the beats and the lyrics, so when you hit it, you can feel it. Your vibe is energized by the pleasant summer spirit. No interference, we persevere. The purpose is clear, we're here to leave your ears hurting severe. We leave you lurking in fear, take you back with love and locks. We rockin' from the road to side to spots we're hard not to be.
Party girls, don't get high, we can't feel anything. When will I learn? I push it down,
push it down, push it down, push it down. I'm on for a good time, call phones blowing up, ringing my doorbell. I feel the love, I feel the love. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, drink. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, drink. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, drink. Throw 'em back till I lose count.
What's the frequency? Can it just your fancy dream? I was brain dead, locked out, numb, not up to speed. I thought I pegged you, an idiot's dream. Tunnel vision from the outsider screen. I never understood the frequency.
You might think I'm crazy, the way I've been craving. If I put it quite plainly, just give me them babies. So what you doing tonight? Better say doing you right. Watching movies, but we ain't seen a thing tonight. I don't wanna keep you up, but show me, can you keep it up? Then I'll have to keep you up. Maybe I'ma keep you up, boy. I've been drinking coffee, and I've been eating healthy. No, I keep you squeaking, saving up my energy, yeah. Can you stay up all night? Love me till the daylight.
Seen the arrow on the doorpost, saying this land is condemned. All the way from New Orleans to Jerusalem, I traveled through East Texas, where many martyrs fell. I know no one can.
I never ask, where do you go? I never ask, what do you do? I never ask, what's in your mind? I never ask if you'll be mine. Come and smile, don't be shy. Touch my bum, this is life. This is life. We are.
The world was on fire, no one could save me but you. Strange what desire will make foolish people do. I never dreamed that I knew somebody like you.
let you get on. International, first class seat on my lap, girl. Riding comfortable, 'cause I know what the girl in me. New York to Haiti, I got lipstick stamps on my passport.
Now I say this one time, boy, and that's my word. We rockin' shots and not fire through the hens in bed. The contribution is clear, you add a water to bone and get the Jurassic 5 on the microphone. Now if you like the tone, the harmony's done. All the sucker MCs die before they begun. Well, I'd like to know if you got the notions, we're number one. Just trying to say my style is better than yours. I'm on some other shit. I'm all about the beats and the lyrics, so when you hit it, you can feel it. Your vibe is energized by the pleasant summer spirit. No interference, we persevere. The purpose is clear. We're here to leave your ears hurting severe. We leave you lurking in fear. Take it back with love and luxury. Rocking from right to side to spots. We're hard not to be.
Party girls, don't get high, we can't feel anything. When will I learn? I push it down, I push it down. Push it down, push it down. I'm one for a good time, call phone's blowing up, ringing my doorbell. I feel the love, I feel the love. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, drink. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, drink. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, drink. Throw 'em back till I lose count. What's the frequency? Can hit this your fancy dream? I was brain dead, locked out, numb, not up to speed. Thought I pegged you, an idiot's dream. Tunnel vision from the outsider screen. I never understood the frequency.
You might think I'm crazy, the way I've been craving. If I put it quite plainly, just give me them babies. So what you doing tonight? Better say doing you right. Watching movies, but we ain't seen a thing tonight. I don't wanna keep you up, but show me, can you keep it up? Then I'll have to keep you up. Maybe I'ma keep you up, boy. I've been drinking coffee, and I've been eating healthy. No, I keep you squeaking, saving up my energy, yeah. Can you stay up all night? Love me till the daylight.
Seen the arrow on the doorpost, saying this land is condemned. All the way from New Orleans to Jerusalem, I traveled through East Texas, where many martyrs fell.
Well, there you go. There are your 10 songs. I'm going to give you a slightly longer. I'm going to give you slightly longer here. This is just so that Rob has some time to go through the markings from the previous rounds. We start putting the scores together. So you've got until 25 past the hour. 25 past the hour. And I'll see you back here. Don't forget, as we take this intermission, if you were enjoying the pub quiz, please consider helping to keep the Two Fellas pub going. We do this pub quiz to try and raise the funds to make sure that the pub can make it through the corona crisis. If you do wish to donate, please go to PayPal and donate with the email address donate@twofellas.beer. And also, at the same time, don't forget to click subscribe to the Two Fellas YouTube channel so you're reminded every week of the online pub quiz, and also to hit the like button. So hopefully we can get some more teams and we can put Rob's marking skills to the test as we grow in our audience. The panic will grow. But yeah, if you do wish to support the Two Fellas, please do go through PayPal at donate@twofellas.beer. It is greatly appreciated and does go a long way to keeping the pub going. Less than 2 minutes to get your answers in. Click submit as soon as you can. Rob is locking the answers. By the time you hear this message, he would have locked them already. Such is the delay. So I'm going to find the answers. You can close the books. Just carefully. Don't fold the pages over. Okay, so let's go through the answers for the music round. Song 1 was a cover of Waterloo by ABBA. 2 was the Cheeky Girls with Cheeky Song and or, in brackets, Touch My Bum. Then we had Chris Isaak with Wicked Game, followed on by Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young and Ohio. Then it was Jason Derulo and Talk Dirty to Me. Jurassic 5 and Concrete Schoolyard. Sia and Chandelier. Then song 8 was REM and What's the Frequency, Kenneth. 9 was Ariana Grande with 34 plus 35. You do the math. And in 10th place, the last song was Bob Dylan and Blind Willie McTell. So those were your answers. Oh, yeah. Right. So let's get on with the next round. And now it is the harder round. This is where we separate the meek from the mild. Or something similar. Anyway, the harder round. Question 1. Which French city unveiled its new underwater museum this past week with 6 monolithic faces installed in the water? It looks amazing. So, which French city unveiled its new underwater museum this past week with 6 monolithic faces installed in the water? They're local residents. They're cast from a pH neutral concrete, and it's the faces of local residents like fishermen and such. And then it's cast, and then they're chopped in half and slightly separated. The massive sculptures, not the residents. That would be a bit Damien Hirst. Yeah, it looks amazing. Yeah. So, which French city unveiled its new underwater museum this past week with 6 monolithic faces installed in the water? Question 2. Folivora, meaning the aversion to work or exertions, is the Latin name for which animal? Folivora, meaning the aversion to work or exertions, is the Latin name for which animal? Question 2. Folivora, meaning the aversion to work or exertions, is the Latin name for which animal? Question 3. The Tortellis was a spin-off lasting just 1 season of which other American sitcom that ran from 1982 until 1993? So the Tortellis was a spin-off lasting just 1 season of which other American sitcom that ran from 1982 until 1993? So the Tortellis was a spin-off lasting just one season of which other American sitcom that ran from 1982 until 1993 is your question 3. On to 4. On this day in 1616, which Italian astronomer was banned by the Catholic Church for the ridiculous notion that the Earth orbits the Sun? So on this day in 1616, which Italian astronomer was banned by the Catholic Church for the ridiculous notion that the Earth orbits the Sun? The dog has deflated. So on this day in 1616, which Italian astronomer was banned by the Catholic Church for the ridiculous notion that the Earth orbits the Sun? So question 4. On with 5. Identify this artist from this self-portrait. Born in the Kingdom of Hungary in 1869, he would find fame at the Paris International Exhibition in 1900 with a portrait of the Pope Leo XIII. The same year, he would marry into the Guinness family before becoming the royal painter of his age. So identify this artist from this self-portrait. Born in the Kingdom of Hungary in 1869, he would find fame at the Paris International Exhibition in 1900 with a portrait of the Pope Leo XIII. The same year, he would marry into the Guinness family before becoming the royal painter of his age. Dog's Maker is lying down, going to sleep and making eating sounds. Oh dear. So question 5, one more time, is identify this artist from the self-portrait. Born in the Kingdom of Hungary in 1869, he would find fame at the Paris International Exhibition in 1900 with a portrait of the Pope Leo XIII. The same year, he would marry into the Guinness family before becoming the royal painter of his age. Move on, question 6. Nice and easy. How many times was Elizabeth Taylor married? So, how many times was Elizabeth Taylor married is your question 6. Got the light matched up with my eyes and my glasses, like laser beams. Can't find it now. Lost it. Oh, there we go. Just amusing myself. So, question 6: how many times was Elizabeth Taylor married? And count on your fingers and toes. All right, let's move on. Question 7. Question 7. In which year was the amendment passed that limited United States presidents to just 2 terms? Was it A in 1776, B in 1865, C in 1919, or D in 1951? So, in which year was the amendment passed that limited United States presidents to just serving 2 terms? Is it A 1776, B 1865, C 1919, or D 1951? So, one more time. In which year was the amendment passed that limited United States presidents to just 2 terms? Was it A in 1776, B in 1865, C in 1919, or D in 1951? Question 8. In music, as a fraction of a whole note, what length is a hemi-semi-demiquaver? Did I mean a hemi-semi-demiquaver? I did say hemi-semi-demiquaver. Hemi-semi-demiquaver. Yeah, I got it right. In music, as a fraction of a whole note, what length is a hemi-semi-demiquaver? You woke the dog up. So one more time, question 8. In music, as a fraction of a whole note, what length is a hemi-semi-demi-quaver? That's your question 8. On to question 9. What is the name of the Pixar lamp? So what is the name of the Pixar lamp is your question 9. Question 9 is what is the name of the Pixar lamp? And that brings us finally on to question 10, the final question of the quiz. Known as one of the two major subfields of mechanics, which subfield is concerned with a set of physical laws describing the motion of bodies under the action of a system of forces? So, known as one of the two major subfields of mechanics, which subfield is concerned with a set of physical laws describing the motion of bodies under the action of a system of forces? That is your question 10. Once you have your answers jotted down, click submit. But get your answers in by 5 to the hour. So you'll have around about 7 minutes to get them in, to debate and get your answers in. If you need any questions repeating, don't forget you can use the little red bar to scroll back, or if you need them, if you can't do that for whatever reason, drop a line into the chat and I will paste the question into the chat or read it out again. So you have around 7 minutes to get your answers done. Answers in by 5 to the hour, but please submit them as soon as you can, just to give Rob a bit of time to go through doing the marking. Yeah, that's me most of the quiz. In the meantime, for those who've submitted, don't forget, if you've enjoyed the pub quiz, please consider donating some money. And after you've considered donating money, donate some money via PayPal with the email donate@twofeathers.beer. It really will go a long way to making sure that Two Feathers can survive the pandemic. On that note, it is the Feathers are closed this weekend, except for beer that you can collect. You can wander in and order between 5 and 9 tomorrow. But there's no pizza this weekend, and the pub is closed also on Sunday completely. So just beer orders tomorrow between 5 and 9. But if you do want to support the Feathers, please go through PayPal with donate@twofeathers.beer. Whilst you're doing all that, don't forget, hit subscribe, smash that like button, smash the fuck out of the like button. Destroy the like button. Hit the thumbs up. Yeah. Oh, that's about it. So that's the end of the round. Get your answers in. You've got about 6 minutes, 5 minutes to get them in. But click submit as soon as you can. Oh, yeah, I am happy with myself. I baited Dylan into the chat. I put a mechanics question in, and I knew Dylan had to come up and say something. It's just like, it's occasionally I just do a little bit of fishing, like with the questions, just to see what I can dredge up. Like a crab, he wandered into my trap. Like a crab trap you put in the water. Oh, you had nets for crabs. Oh yeah. What was she doing in it? Laying traps for crabs. All right, 4 minutes to get your answers in. Hurry up and click submit. Less than 3 minutes to get your answers in. Put the ticking clock to it. No, it's too quiet to pick it up. Dog's letting off stink bombs. Mm-hmm. I say. Okay, less than a minute to get your answers in. Less than a minute to click submit. House rules. Oh, Jesus. Oh, fucking hell. That didn't get me for ages. She's quietly pleased with herself. All right, click submit now. Click submit now. This is your final chance to get your answers in for the final round of this week's quiz. And then Rob will get to marking, and soon enough, we will have the answers. Hopefully that wasn't just like the tension that she was releasing to release another one. All right. Click submit now. The round will be locked. Right. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, okay. On with the answers for the harder round. Where am I gone? There I am. All right. Question 1. The French city that has unveiled an underwater museum this past week with 6 monolithic faces installed in the water is Cannes. Yeah. I would go in there and see that. That's not too far, no. No. Okay, all right. 2. Folivora, meaning the aversion to work or exertions, is the Latin name for the sloth. Sort of makes sense, really. 3. The Tortellis was a spin-off lasting 1 season of the American sitcom Cheers, as was Frasier. But Tortellis, only lasted 1 season, as opposing to Frasier lasting like 9, I think. On this day in 1616, the Italian astronomer that was banned from the Catholic Church was Galileo Galilei. Oh, I'm just a poor boy, nobody loves me. He's just a poor boy from a poor family. On to question 5. The artist is Philip de Laszlo. He became the main royal artist of the British royal family, but also painted many a painting of those of the Austrian line of the Habsburgs. Yep, noses. Jaws? Jaws. 6. Elizabeth Taylor was married 8 times, twice to the same man. Divorced and married again. No, not very long in between. 7. It was in 1951 that the amendment was passed that limited the United States presidents to 2 terms. 8. A hemi, semi, demiquaver is equal to 1/64th of a whole note. Sometimes it's referred to as half of a 1/32nd. Yeah, I mean, I'd call that the same. The name of the Pixar lamp is Luxo. You can take Luxo Junior, Luxo Senior, or just write Luxo as an answer. And the field, or the subfield, one of the 2 major subfields of mechanics that is concerned with a set of physical laws describing the motion of bodies under the action of a system of forces is classical mechanics. No, already. Mate. And that's the end of the quiz. So, give us a couple of minutes, like 5 to 10 minutes, just to get the scores all correlated together. Judging by the numbers, I'd say we've got in the mid-30s of teams again. So it will just take a few minutes. At the end of the quiz, I will, in the description below, put all the links to the music used in the covers round. So if you want to listen to the cover of the Cheeky Girls, I know Peter's going to be straight onto that one. You can do, or ignore it entirely. Entirely up to you. But as you're on your way there, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe. And I will post as every week, I will post the scores, including the round by round scores, to the Simon Does Pub Quiz Facebook page as well, which if you follow, you can get updates for the pub quiz as well as some early warning as to what the theme round will be as well. So just give us a few minutes just to go through the scores, and we'll get back to you as soon as they're ready. All right, the scores are in. Here we go. This is where my eyes go boggly trying to work out who's where. Let's see if I can get this any closer. That's as close as I can go. Let's make that bigger. There we go. Okay, so we had 33 teams playing. To make sure my audio is on. 33 teams playing. Fighting for 23 places. So we're condensed. In 23rd place, on a princely 10 points, was the Sean O'Donnelly Schmal Energy. In 22nd place, Javi Welcome Back on 12 points. In 21st place, Ritter der Coconuts with 16 points, half a point ahead of them. In 20th place is Last Bit of Schnitzel. In 19th place, we've got two teams fighting for, with 17 points, the Tools and the Excelsiors. In 18th place, cunningly enough, on 18 points, are both Shameless Cena and the Jizzers and Two Fellas One Pub. In 17th place, we've got Telma and Louisa and Balcom Connection. Hang on, no, sorry. In 17th place, we've got Balkan Connection on 18.5 points. Then in 16th place, we've got Telma and Louisa and the Jimmy Buffett Fan Club, both on 20 points. In 15th place is Hexenhunder with 20.5 points. Ahead of them on 21 points is King Sperm. Then in 13th place, we've got Lynn's Friends on 21.5 points. And just a half a point ahead of them, we've got two teams in 12th place, the Oldham Ruffyheads and the Udo and the Jurgens. In 11th place, we've got Christina Aguilera and Team Steve, both on 22.5 points. Half a point ahead of them. In 10th place are two of our resident teams usually fighting it out for the top places. It's Don't Fucking Clap and Cabbage Snitches. Oh, sorry. In 9th place, on 24 points, we have three teams. The Co-op, Pandemic and the Disco, and Kevin Align Zoom Mouse. In 8th place, all on their own, but putting in a good showing of 25 points, are the legendary Fancy Jams. Then ahead of them, we have a little jump of a half a point. To 25.5 points, we have the survivors of Los Angeles and Pickles Get Stitches. In 6th place, on 26.5 points, we've got two teams in Rolo Compolo and Copious Coochie. In 5th place, on 27 points, is the Flu Fighters. Like it a lot, clever. In 4th place, on 28.5 points, is the Duksha Rotter, which brings us down to our final three, separated, cunningly enough, by 3 points. In 3rd place, on 29 points, is Living La Vida Lockdown. And our final two teams, in 2nd place, on 30 points, is my favorite team name of the week, as it is most weeks, is der Schatzschiedsrichter Mannschaftsausfall, which means the House Martins reign supreme for another week on 32 points. So congratulations to the House Martins yet again. Happy birthday once more to Martin. And congratulations to everybody who's played. Thank you for playing along. It does mean a lot to the two fellas that you show your support. I will post all of the scores, so if you couldn't hear that, I can't get any closer to my laptop and my microphone won't go any further. So if you didn't hear that, check the Simon Does Pub quiz page and you'll get the scores and a breakdown of the rounds. Come back later and check the description for the covers of the songs. And don't forget to hit the like button, as 8 of you have done so far. And we'll see you again next week. So if you've enjoyed the pub quiz, don't forget, donate through PayPal at donate@twofellas.beer. And thank you, everybody, for playing along. I'll post the scores very, very shortly. Thank you again.